In this video, we are going to check out some of the creepiest monsters in Greek mythology. And just for fun, we're going to see who wins the crown for being the most terrifying. Let's start with number 7, the Sphinx, a monster with the body of a lion, head of a woman, and the wings of an eagle. The Sphinx is known for her role in the story of Oedipus. When Oedipus was trolling down the road to Thebes, he encountered the Sphinx. She blocked his path and confronted him with a riddle. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 in the evening? Oedipus, being smart and all, answers correctly. Humans, crawling as babies, walking on 2 legs as adults, and using a walking stick when older. The Sphinx, out of anger, then throws herself from a high cliff. Had Oedipus not cracked the code, he'd have ended up as a Sphinx snack, joining the club of travelers who couldn't puzzle their way out of her grasp. Number 6 on our list, the Chimera. This beast isn't just a regular monster. It's like someone threw a lion, a goat, and a snake into a mythical blender and hit the create button. Traditionally, the Chimera is considered to be female, credited to have given birth to the Sphinx and the Nemean lion. The monster was feared and believed to have been the harbinger of storms, shipwrecks, and other natural disasters. The Chimera is best known for its role in the legend of Bellerophon. Bellerophon was ordered to slay the monster to make amends for his previous wrongdoing. Bellerophon knew he would need assistance for such a task, so he prayed and then slept in the temple of Athena. When he woke up, he saw the goddess before him, offering him the mythical winged horse, Pegasus. With Pegasus saddled, Bellerophon flew to the Chimera's hideout in Lycia. Knowing the creature could be lethal and was not easily defeated, Bellerophon made a plan. He attached a large chunk of lead to the end of his spear. He flew towards the monster. Just as the Chimera opened its mouth to scorch the hero with fire, Bellerophon drove the lead into the creature's mouth. The fiery breath of the Chimera melted the lead and caused the creature to suffocate and die. Number 5, the Hydra. This slithery, water-loving beast wasn't just any old serpent. Its venom was so potent that just a whiff of its breath could send you straight to the afterlife. Oh, and it also had the ability to regrow any decapitated limbs with alarming speed. For every head that was severed, 2 more would grow in its place. The Hydra established a base in the Lake of Lerna, chilling in its underwater cave that was also the gateway to the underworld. The ancient hero Heracles was on a quest. He had to perform 12 labors. The Hydra was his second challenge. Heracles gears up with a cloth over his mouth and nose to block out the Hydra's toxins. Starting off with his usual arsenal, he quickly figures out that for every head decapitated, the creature quickly grows 2 more. The battle would be hopeless. But Heracles isn't about to let some multi-headed water snake ruin his day. He switches gears, grabbing a torch and going full barbecue mode on the Hydra's neck stumps, preventing any new heads from sprouting. After a bit of slash, burn, repeat, Heracles decapitates the last head, effectively killing the Hydra. Next up, we have number 4, Cerberus, Hades' loyal guard dog. This wasn't just any guard dog. Imagine a cute dog you know, then give it 2 extra heads, a serious attitude, guarding the entrance to the underworld. That's Cerberus. It's said that the 3 heads were representing the past, present, and future. In other versions, they symbolize youth, adulthood, and old age. Cerberus only had an appetite for living flesh and therefore would allow the deceased spirits to pass. He ate any living mortal who was dumb enough to come near him. Cerberus was the last challenge on Heracles' list. He had to enter the underworld, wrestle the beast using no weapons, and then bring Cerberus to the surface world alive to present to the Mycenaean king Eurystheus. Heracles manages to tackle the beast, then using his great strength, throws the animal over his shoulder and drags him to the mortal world. When Eurystheus saw Cerberus, he was so terrified that he hid in a large vase and begged Heracles to return the hellhound back to where it came from. But that's nothing compared to number 3 on our list, the Minotaur. Imagine mixing a human with a bull. Well, you'll get this guy. He's known for his love of eating human flesh and his weird housing condition. He lived deep within an impossible labyrinth located under the palace of Knossos, the home of King Minos of Crete. The story goes that King Minos lost his son under some shady circumstances. The boy was murdered in Athens because the Athenians were jealous of his victories at the Panathenaic Games. As penance for the murder of Androgeus, every year the Athenians were forced to send 7 young men and 7 young women to the island of Crete. They would be released into the labyrinth, then hunted and eaten by the Minotaur. It is at this time that Theseus, the hero of Athens, volunteers to be sent to Crete as a sacrifice to the monster. When Theseus gets there, he finds himself an ally in Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos. Before the Athenians are trapped in the maze, Ariadne releases Theseus from his holding cell and brings him to the entrance of the labyrinth. Theseus walks through and finds the Minotaur sleeping. Using the element of surprise, Theseus attacks the Minotaur and eliminates the monster effortlessly. The hero and the other Athenians, along with Princess Ariadne, escape the palace and make a quick retreat to Athens. Now, our number 2 on the list, Medusa, a monstrous creature with the ability to turn to stone any person who looked at her. This lady was no joke. Medusa was once a beautiful young woman. She was transformed into a hideous monster after being raped in the temple of Athena by the sea god Poseidon. Medusa is confronted by the hero Perseus, who was tasked by his stepfather to bring home her head. Using a shiny shield that was given to him by Athena, Perseus viewed Medusa's reflection so he wouldn't turn into stone. He slays Medusa and chops off her head. Perseus would use the head of Medusa as a weapon against enemies. He eventually presented it to Athena, who attached it to the front of her shield. Now, our number 1, Typhon, the most terrifying of all, aka the father of all monsters. He was the love child of Gaia, Mother Earth, and Tartarus, who was hell itself. Typhon was the most terrifying thing to ever roam the earth. He was so tall that his head would touch the stars. His legs were literal snakes, hissing constantly. Instead of fingers, he had dragon heads growing out of his hands. Oh, and he also had wings, so big they could make the sun disappear. Everyone was terribly afraid of him, even the mighty Olympians. While all the Olympians ran in fear, the only one who had the guts to face him was Zeus himself. Zeus was all in. This great battle caused countless earthquakes and tsunamis. The war was so epic, it nearly split the planet in 2. In the end, Zeus cast 100 thunderbolts to the head of Typhon, sending him straight to the pits of Tartarus. However, its rage could not be contained. He's still throwing tantrums so massive, they come out as volcanic eruptions. Let me know which monster you thought was the most terrifying. Thanks for watching, and remember, next time a volcano erupts, you know Typhon's just reminiscing about the good old days.